Hello guys, how's it going? In this video, we're going to draw a cross with a 3D effect. This is going to be a simplified model, okay? So it is going to be a very easy drawing to make. I'll use this tool to measure and make my straight line. And I'll mark the cross size. 12 centimeters, okay? And I'll use the ruler to mark its width. Okay, so we already have the structure. I've already marked the vertical structure of the cross. I'm going to choose a point, just like this, okay? And I want it to become straight, so I'm going to use this tool that I'm using to, make a straight line horizontally. And I'm using this as a base, to keep drawing my line. We have 3 centimeters in one side and 3 centimeters on the other side. And using the ruler again, I'll draw the bottom line. Three centimeters. Okay, so we now have a cross drawing, but it is a 2D drawing, as you guys can see. I'm just cleaning the inside of the cross. That's fine. So now we're going to add the edges that will give the three-dimensional effect to the drawing. At this point, guys, you can use any spacing. The longer you go, the larger the edge will be. You won't change the drawing itself, it will still have the same characteristic. We will have the 3D effect, but the size of the edge will change. So you can just feel free to choose the height, the length, but I'll leave it at 3 centimeters. And another thing that you have to take into account, guys, is that the first line you mark here, all the others will be diagonal to it, okay? So try to base it. I'm going to use the ruler to, do it and measure the spacing. And then we can draw the line. Use the guidelines of the ruler and always keep it parallel. And now let's draw the end of the edge. And of course I can keep the same height, okay? So I'm going just to draw this line right here at the same height. You already have the three-dimensional drawing of the cross right here. Now I'm going to add the shadow drawing marking. So I'll give it a difference, just like this. I'm going to mark just like that, okay? And I'll follow the shape of the cross. As you guys can see right here, there was a continuity error in the shadow line, so I'll erase it, okay? Now I'll trace the outline of the contour we marked with a pencil. Okay, I'm going to use a pen to do so. Guys, as you guys can see, I'm outlining the shadow detail, but this is not mandatory. In fact, if you don't outline it, it might even give a more natural effect, you know, to the shadow drawing. So you don't have to outline the shadow detail. With the drawing outlined, now we can do the cleaning. In this upper part, I'll lightly apply some graphite right here because I want it to be lighter. On the edge, I'll darken it later. Wherever you want to give a tone of variation, make it a bit darker. For example, I'll make the edge darker than the top part, because in the bottom part I want it a bit darker anyway. So I'll apply a bit more pressure on the pencil in this area, okay? Because when we are doing the blending with the tissue paper or with the blended stuff or with any other equipment you're using, it is easier to define the shadow, okay? So it is important to define it in this stage of the drawing. And now I'll pass the tissue right here. I'll start with the upper part, which was a bit lighter, and then I'll go to the edge where it'll be a bit darker. As you guys can see, the tissue is getting dirty, so we have to change it. And if I use this tissue right there on the lighter part, it will become darker. Notice that the shadow is already defined here. Some areas will be darker, others will be a bit lighter. This is the importance of putting it in when you're passing the pencil. Don't wait to define the shadow later, you know, only when you're passing the tissue. You need to define the shadow first. The shadow, I'll make it very black. You can use a 6B pencil. I'm using a 6B pencil. Or you can also use a marker and fill this area. That's okay. And as you guys can see, I reinforced it, leaving some parts a bit darker. I'm using the blend stamp. Also in the shadow area. And we can go a bit outside to make it more natural. At the end of the shadow, at the end of the structure of the cross, this part right here, we can clean up later, and that's okay. And we can keep using the tool to, you know, blend. And here it is, guys. The drawing is already complete. Now we can clean up. Where we have some excess graphite. And this drawing can be even more interesting if we make a cut. And guys, when cutting, be very careful, okay? Especially if you're a child. You can ask help from an older person. And it is important to always use a scoop scissors, a paper cutting scissor. Don't use any other type of scissor. Now we have the final result of the drawing. Okay guys, thank you very much and see you in the next video.